Oh boy, Dreamcast guy has to try to play victim. He talked all that crap about the Nintendo Switch 2 and still went out and pre-ordered one. Let's get into it.
Hey there gamers, Dreamcast guy here, and this is the
Really? You don't say. I would have never guessed what that thing you're holding was.
Nintendo Switch 2, a device I got last night. I decided to play it pretty much non-stop. I've just spent...
So after all that crap you said about that system, you still went and bought it last night. Wow, you're a special kind of something.
the last 12 hours playing every exclusive, every new feature, testing stuff out, popping off Joy-Cons and stuff, and I gotta say that immediately, even after that first 12 hours, I kind of regret buying it. This thing just feels like...
You knew you were going to regret buying it. You weren't that excited for it to begin with. You talked all that crap about it. Why would you go and buy it now?
It really lacks that Nintendo spark, that charm, that specialness that made the original Nintendo Switch so great.
Okay, but you knew you weren't going to like it. You know, this is the same equivalent as someone sitting there saying, oh, I hate the taste of strawberries, then goes and eats one. It's like, let me give a review on how strawberries taste.
This thing honestly feels lazy, but let me explain why I'm saying that and why I feel like this system...
Probably not as lazy as your reviews are.
It really exists to make money more than be fun, like any other Nintendo gadget has been, but let me break it down.
Oh god, I don't even know if I can sit there and hear the rest of this, but continue, I will allow it.
Now, let's start with how this system feels, because I've been playing a bunch of different stuff, from ports to new games, Mario Kart World, Cyberpunk 2077, the new GameCube stuff, and...
You know, it would not surprise me if that footage behind them is actually from the trailer.
I feel like the part of what made the original Nintendo Switch so incredibly successful is that as soon as you picked it up, it felt great.
No, it felt good enough for the price you were getting. That's why people liked it so much.
Now, I will say that the biggest part of it that absolutely works, the biggest upgrade to this, the thing that I feel like makes it instantly out of the box feel like an improvement, is that really big screen.
Yeah, looking at them between the two, it doesn't really look like it's a really big screen. I think you might be over-exaggerating that one. And also, the controllers do look a lot nicer.
This is only technically almost 1 inch bigger. The original Nintendo Switch had a 7-inch screen. This thing has a 7.9 inch screen. Now, you might think that an inch bigger might not feel that substantial, but
that's what she said.
When it's actually in your hand, this thing feels like a very beefy boy.
Oh, I bet it does. How does Jim Ryan feel?
So last night I played all night. I was playing all sorts of different stuff, RPGs, I was playing all sorts of stuff, but
I wonder how much he paid that barista to sit there and take that video of him.
This morning, when coffee shops started opening up, I needed some caffeine, so I decided to bring my Switch 2 and just sit there and kind of do a couple laps in Mario Kart while I sipped my mochaccino.
Okay, we understand. That's the point of the Nintendo Switch. Get on with it already.
And that's really when it kind of dawned on me on how much better it feels like these Joy-Cons feel in the hand. Now,
well, they should. For how much you paid for that system, it should feel better.
Here's the thing. When you play it with the actual controller, this is the worst Nintendo controller I have ever seen. Look at this. I feel like you're not even going to believe it.
I mean, it looks fine. It looks like the one like it was for the Switch, so what are you getting at? I noticed it's a little bigger, but can you please explain how it's the worst controller ever?
Look at these parts hanging off. When you hold the controller, this feels terrible in the hand. And it's super weird about why they would have these edges hang off. Now, clearly, the reason they have these giant...
I'll take your word on it. To me, it looks like you're over-exaggerating, to be honest.
Bits just hanging off the edge of the controller, which downright feel terrible, is because this is the original Nintendo Switch controller. People call it the puppy face or the dog face.
They're also sticking out, so what are you getting at?
And this design exists because they slid on and off vertically. Whereas now, because they have to have everything go off horizontally because of the magnetic, it makes it where they can't have this smooth, nice bevel to it. It has to have this extra thing where they pop off to the side.
Okay, I think I kind of understand what you're saying, but I would actually have to hold it to really understand it.
Now, I almost want to put on my conspiracy hat and say it's because they want you to buy the $100 Pro controller, which I'm not going to do. Now,
Cheapo, you literally just spent $500 on a system you weren't excited for. What's an extra $100 at that point?
if you're a cheapo like I am, Nintendo Switch 1 controllers, including Pro controllers, do work on the Nintendo Switch 2. I actually primarily play with this little cheapo knockoff programmable
You bought a PS5 Pro. How much of a cheapo are you really?
GameCube controller, and I put a bunch of hours into that. So it is nice that I can still use this. I've actually been primarily playing last night. I played a bunch of hours with this.
Congratulations. Let's get on to the point. Okay, a Switch 1 controller off-brand is not going to help your case. Please get on the point with this review already.
It's cool that it does still actually work, but let's talk about graphics, let's talk about power, and let's talk about...
Yes, finally, get on with it already. That's what we want to see. We don't want you to talk about a damn Switch 1 Pro controller.
Well, the Zelda problem. So, the biggest thing about the Nintendo Switch 2 over the Nintendo Switch 1 is the power boost. That it is a bigger, stronger console that is...
Yes, we understand that. Get to your point already.
Technically possible to play 4K 60 FPS. Some games are going to run at 120 FPS. Of all my testing so far...
Yes, from what I remember, in dock mode, it is supposed to be like that.
Nothing runs above 60 FPS. No game I bought, nothing I've seen, nothing yet plays over 60 FPS, which, honestly, you know what, that's fine.
Well, which mode were you playing in?
Even the games that do run at 4K, they don't look 4K. I don't know what the deal is. I didn't see any, like, in the Nintendo exclusives, I didn't see, like, an option, hey, enable 4K.
I don't see how that can make any sense when you're sitting there saying that they're running in 4K, but they don't look like it, you know. But also, I'm more new to this than you are, I guess.
Mario Kart World is an $80 game.
Yes, that's why we're all throwing a fit over it.
It doesn't really look like it's that much bigger or better than Mario Kart Deluxe.
Did you not watch the trailers and the directs before you even pre-ordered it? Many people were sitting there saying how much it looks barren. How are you acting all surprised? And I am pretty certain that's trailer footage. If you play these games like you said you did, why didn't you use your own footage?
Mario Kart 8 looks 99% the same. I did not see anything in here that felt impossibly complex.
I mean, you were able to tell all of that in the trailer before they released the game. I'm still surprised how you didn't notice this. Honestly, I just think you did notice it. You just didn't care and you're trying to play victim.
So advanced. Every other system, the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5, all that stuff, when you play it, it had a launch game that went, oh yeah, there is no way this could have possibly run on the previous generation.
Okay, but you were able to look at the game on the trailer and you could notice that.
Nothing about the Nintendo Switch 2 really feels that substantially different.
That's why a lot of people were saying that it's a Switch Pro, not really a Switch 2.
Other than Cyberpunk, this is what made the original Nintendo Switch so fantastic, in my opinion, which is that...
Sorry to tell you, but your opinion don't mean very much.
I love the impossible ports. I ended up playing so many hours of stuff like Doom Eternal.
Yeah, and that's probably what's going to carry the Switch 2 forward, because just looking at the trailers from what I've seen on the Mario Kart World, I mean, I'm not too impressed, to be honest. Graphically, it looks beautiful. I mean, the game looks beautiful, but it doesn't look dramatically better than Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
The Witcher 3, and even if those were very, very bare bones ports, meaning that the graphics had to be substantially downgraded.
Yep, unfortunately they had to do that, so hopefully with the Switch 2 they won't, but once the PS6 comes out, they're probably going to have to do that again.
It was always cool to me to actually see those games playable portably, right? It was just great to take a game that big, that chaotic, that gory in the case of Doom, and downscale it to a handheld.
Sure, that's one of the reasons why the Switch 1 was so successful, and also being at a reasonable price.
My annoyance about this system is just that exorbitantly big price tag, and also it just seems like it constantly needs to check the internet.
My guy, you bought a PS5 Pro. What are you complaining about this price point for? That PS5 Pro was way more overpriced than the Switch 2 was. Now, I'm not excited over the price either of the Switch 2, but you didn't see me going running out buying a PS5 Pro and then complaining about it afterwards.
I've been playing Nintendo consoles now for my entire life, but I've been reviewing them specifically now for about 12 years. I've got old pictures of me back when I had little skinny stick arms.
From the rumors I've heard about you, reviewing is a very strong word.
But like 3DS press events and stuff. And each generation always felt like it was trying to do something. But there have been those stumbles, times where they tried to do something that just didn't really fully work. Like
the Wii U. Now, I still think that this is going to be more, a lot more successful than, what the Wii U was. But I cannot deny from the stuff I've been hearing, it does look more like a Switch Pro than an actual Switch 2.
There was the 3DS, and then there was the new 3DS. And the new 3DS had very few actually new features. It had an extra stick. You could play Minecraft on it. I think it had like Super Nintendo games like on it, like Earthbound and stuff.
Are you talking about the 3DS XL?
But a lot of people just didn't like it. It had very few exclusives. Stuff like Xenoblade Chronicles was on it. That was cool. This to me feels more like the new 3DS.
Oh, you're going to get some hate for saying that one, especially because I don't know if a lot of people are going to believe that you actually reviewed this.
Then the 3DS 2. It feels like a tiny, completely pointless upgrade that isn't for me, it isn't for you.
Nah, it's going to be for many people because they can play a lot more better games now. It can play a lot more of the third-party games. Now, for how long it can play those games, only time's going to tell.
I just don't get it. I definitely regret buying the Nintendo Switch 2.
You knew you were going to regret buying it. You weren't excited about it beforehand. You were talking nothing but trash about the damn thing. Usually, when you go buy something that you generally are not excited for, talking a lot of crap about, you're generally going to regret buying it.
I'm going to do a separate video specifically about Mario Kart World because now that I've played about 7 hours of it, the game just sucked.
Well, maybe if you have more people to play with, you may actually enjoy it. But I mean, 7 hours, you could probably do almost everything in that game anyways. Well, that's going to be it for my reaction. I'm getting tired of this guy playing victim over here. So please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay vigilant.